welcome to episode one of the Good Side of Sports podcast. I'm your host, Brian Hartong, and I can't imagine a better foundation to have as our first guest than this one. Their origin story embodies the American spirit, unwavering courage in the line of duty, and then an unthinkable tragedy happens, from which something is created that has meant so much to so many. And that something is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Today, I'm joined by Mark and Greg. Mark is the event manager for the National Run and Climb Series, and Greg is the race director for the Westerville, Ohio race. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we get into all the amazing things that the foundation does, I want to have Mark tell us the story about how the foundation came to be.
Well, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is a unique story, as people will find out. On September 2001, FDNY firefighter Stephen Siller was getting off his shift in Brooklyn firehouse, worked the overnight shift, supposed to go play golf with his brothers that day. Anyone that's old enough to remember that day remembers what a beautiful sunny morning it was for September. Same thing was happening in New York. Shortly after he left the station, he heard on his radio about the first plane crashed into the World Trade Center. And being a first responder, like all first responders are, the golf game's going to get canceled. So he called his wife, said, "Tell my brothers I'll get back to him later. I got to go to work." So he raced back to the firehouse with in his truck. Obviously, they had already responded, and anybody's familiar with the New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn area knows that there's a river separating Brooklyn and
Hmm.
lower Manhattan. So he grabbed all his gear from the firehouse, threw it in his truck, raced towards the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel to make it over to the World Trade Center. Tunnel was closed, obviously, for obvious
Mhm.
reasons, and not willing to give up or go find another route. He pulled his truck over to the side, grabbed his gear, over 60 pounds of equipment, and made his way through the tunnel. And that's one of the longest, if not the longest tunnel in North America. The tunnel is over 2 miles long.
Oh, wow.
So it definitely a hike for anybody not carrying 60 pounds of gear with them.
Right.
So he made his way through the tunnel, finally made it to the site of the World Trade Center. And the story is that he caught up with his brothers from Squad One, and that was the last he was seen.
Hmm. Wow.
So he was a father of five, uh, big family, young family. So he was lost at the World Trade Center while saving so many other people.
Every time I hear that story or read it, it's just gives you chills. It's just insane, and we need those kind of people though that will
Yeah,
give it all
yes,
for everyone else.
there were so many stories that day, including Stevens. But the Siller family, shortly thereafter, got together and said, "We have to do something. We could mourn the loss like much of the country, if not all the country, is going through right now, and be sad, or we could turn this into something positive." And it took one of Stevens' friends who was at this meeting uh, to figure out what to do. Said, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's just do what he did." And they didn't know what that. I said, "Well, what do you mean? Let's run through the tunnel." And that's what got the wheels turning. The getting, excuse me, getting Mayor Giuliani on board to get the permits and the permissions. And remember, this was just weeks after 9/11.
So the first run was just weeks after the.
The planning started then.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they put everything together, got the approvals to do it. Did the first run in September of '02, 1,500-ish participants, which at the time they were thrilled with that.
Right. Right.
That 1,500 people are coming out to honor Stephen and do a good thing. And then every September for the next almost 25 years, that run has occurred in Lower Manhattan at the end of September.
What's the numbers now? Do you have an idea?
So we were over 40,000 this past
That's
September.
incredible.
So we're pushing up to 50,000 people from around the world. It's if not the biggest 5K in the country, it's one of the
Yeah, I've
biggest.
never heard of any of that large before. So that's you're getting close to the marathon
Yeah,
numbers there.
yeah. So, and that's really how it started. In the early days, it was an annual run in New York City, a 5K run that brought people in. Money was raised. They gave money to local orphanages. Stephen lost his parents when he was 10 years old.
Okay.
His siblings raised him as their youngest brother. So their heart was to support children's homes and orphanages and burn centers and those type of things.
It's funny when I was doing some research, it didn't hit me right away, but this being the 25th anniversary, it's sort of ironic that we're doing this on the 25th anniversary. So it's pretty cool. And also the charity, the foundation is highly ranked.
Yes,
I did some research on that. It's in the top 50 through Forbes, top 100 charities. It has a 4-star rating with Charity
Charity
Navigator. Yep.
Navigator. Yep.
Yeah.
We always encourage people to the ones that are interested in donating to us that maybe don't know a lot about us. We always say check us out.
Mhm.
Go look us up. We're very proud of that rating that we get from those organizations, and obviously, as big as we are now, there's a lot of people with eyes on where the money's going and what we're doing. So we're really proud to get those type of ratings. And
Yeah, and I think I was trying to figure out where the rating came from, what the criteria was, and 93% of what you guys bring in goes directly to the programs from what I
yes,
was seeing.
that's a
So,
good point. That's what makes us one of the highest.
mhm.
We have, even as much as we've grown, obviously we'd like that 93 to be even higher.
Right,
We do have expenses and the growth of the organization, you know, costs some money to
sure.
keep things going
Yeah,
with all the marketing and keeping things. But I will tell you that we couldn't do it without the thousands of volunteers from across the country, not only that come to New York that put these events on, like we're going to talk about. So it is really just an organic type situation where people are enthusiastic to join us.
right. And how
Um,
long have you been with the organization?
I started right not too long after the first year run,
Okay.
so over 20 years I've been helping with the New York City run,
Wow.
and then I'm happy that I was able to convince a lot of my friends used to tell me when every time they didn't look forward to me going every September because when I got back, they said that's all I talked about for the next year.
Right.
And I really did. And I got many of them on board that would come every year to New York. They became part of the family. And to this day, they still are. So that has expanded and allowed them to either put on their own runs or support one of the ones that we're doing.
Huh, that's great. So, Greg, you run the Westerville race.
Not actually run it, but I coordinate.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
so yeah, when back in 2018, 8 years ago, when Eric Joring and Tony Murley were killed in line of duty for the city of Westerville, um, the foundation approached the city and wanted to talk to the families and told us that, hey, we want to pay off their mortgages. And our first thought was, this is too good to be true. There's no way that this is possible. Uh, Fast forward, we checked into the organization and that they were legitimate and this is what they wanted to do. And then it was, hey, telling the ladies and their worst moment, um, hey, this is one thing that the organization wants to take off your plate. And of course, they look at us like, no way, there's no
Mhm.
way. And there is a way. And um, I think Mark, being from Ohio, heard about the officers, Tony, Eric, and Tony getting killed, and contacted the foundation. And from my perspective, I was not involved. Never heard of Tunnel to Towers until um, Frank shows up with a check for both families, which was super cool. Seeing seeing that happen, and then later realizing the gravity of what the foundation did. Um, Almost immediately, both ladies wanted to pay it forward, and we started our first run in Westerville in
So
2019.
they were involved with the first run.
They were involved with the first run,
Okay.
yes, and unfortunately with COVID, shut things down. So we didn't have a run until 2022. Um, that's when I became in my role as a family liaison, being the go-to person for both families. Linda Morelli approached me and said, "Hey, I want to do this. I want to pay it forward." But it was very important to both of them that it wasn't about Eric and Tony. It was about the good the foundation did. So we had a couple of speed bumps about how we socialize and how we advertise. Um, the community after Eric and Tony were killed in February 10th, 2018. I've never seen anything like that. It was one of the coolest things that I'd never want to see again. Um, Going down Main Street in Westerville, literally every house had a blue porch light
Hmm.
on. I don't know who did it to my house, but somebody took my porch lights and changed them to blue while I was at work. Um, Nobody would fess up to it. Um, but seeing what the foundation did and then going to um, as a family liaison to escort Linda to New York City run. She's like, I want you and your wife to come. So we did, and it blew me away. Just it's the first time I was in New York City since I was a little kid. So just the grand scale of things, and then knowing what it takes to organize an event, let alone an event that size. And the foundation does it right. They treat the families like they are their family, and then staff and volunteers. I know I have family uh, in the Ohio, Kentucky area that I can call upon and they'll come and help me with our race. They'll be there. I've gone to Nelsonville to help them with their race, gone up to Medina. Anytime we can help each other out, we do that.
You'd have to really you in order for I think an organization to be as successful as this one, you have to care. You can't just be a job. You have to really be invested in, I think, in the cause and care about the people that you're
Yeah.
dealing with in their worst possible moments.
And one of the things that really stands out to me, especially in the last maybe 10 years with the foundation, is so many young people have joined us at the foundation as staff members and
Okay.
stuff. And to see their passion and their involvement and believing in what we do, what the mission is amazing because many of them weren't born yet on 9/11, but
Gotcha.
they fully understand. Obviously, many of them have families that are first responders or military, which that's part of their reason for wanting to join the team. But it's very as we're at 25 years, it's very important to the foundation to keep the education process going.
And that's one of the legs of the foundation too, is the education leg
Yes,
of
we
it.
have the 9/11 Institute that people can go online and read about. And a component of that is our mobile exhibit, which is a traveling 9/11 museum. It
Okay.
goes all over the country, and it's staffed by FDNY firefighters that were there on 9/11,
Hmm.
and they get to tell their stories and talk to school groups, general public that comes in to look at it. It's everywhere it's booked up solid for like forever because
Is,
everybody wants to bring it to their city.
right. Is
To
there a schedule like that is posted so you know where it's going to be
They could,
beginning?
yeah, you could go to our T2T.org website and look up the schedule on there. While we're on this topic, I will say our this year 25th anniversary, we're going to have a piece of World Trade Center steel that will be traveling the whole United States from coast to coast and back again and arrive back in New York City on 9/11.
I saw
So,
that there's a graphic on your website that has the route, and it
mhm,
looks like it goes all the way around the country. So
yes.
that's
So we're real excited about that. Much of that is still in the planning stages, but if people would look at the website, they'll get up to date schedule of where it will be stopping.
okay. Along with that, I know there's several programs besides the educational piece. There's Smart Home, and then the Fallen First Responder
Yes.
program as well.
So our key programs, our programs, they're all key programs. Our programs cover the smart home program, which those are specially adapted homes for catastrophically injured service members and first responders. Uh, the, the homes are modified for each person's needs. And the goal of that is to restore their independence and give them, uh, many of them are living in a place that's kind of tough for them to live and navigate. And get their family into a home that was designed for their needs was a big focus of what we do. Um, Also, we have our Gold Star Family Home Program.
Okay.
Obviously, those are family members that lost someone in the line of duty in the military. Similar to our Fallen First Responder Home Program, which are first responders who were lost in the line of duty. And then we have our Homeless Veterans
Okay.
Program uh, that now provides support, different types of housing, services for our veterans around the country, and that's our newest program, started in 2022. So it's probably the fastest growing part of the foundation at this
Okay.
point. We have facilities opening up around the country that will provide not only housing but a range of services for our military service members and veterans.
It looks like a lot of the programs have the children in mind too. That
Yes.
if they lose a family member, they're taken care of for sure. So it seems like that's a really important
That is
part.
one of the key parts of our Gold Star Family and the Fallen First Responder Home Program
Okay.
that the person has, left behind, obviously children, younger children. So we definitely, as you said, we will take them into our program and they stay with us. We always say that once you join us, you're part of the family. And it's always comforting when I talk to family members that have been with us for a number of years. They always remind me that you guys really do that.
Yeah.
My kids get birthday cards from you guys, years later, graduation presents, things like that. And, now that we're in the thousands of people that we've supported, it was pretty easy when it was, 50,
Right.
but
Right.
we have an awesome staff at Staten Island that, that's their job, is to liaison with all these families and
And that's
help them out.
Staten Island's where the headquarters is.
Yes, we're based at Staten Island,
Okay.
which is where the Siller family lived, and they literally started up from there, working out of a small office in the early days when it was a New York City run. Uh, this, there's a story that we had a lady that helped us out like part time. She's employee number one. We laugh about that.
Okay.
So she was eventually put on because we were starting to grow. We needed somebody to answer the telephone
Mm.
and to look at the mail and things like that. And they brought her in part time, and it was a number of years before there was any full time
Huh.
employees.
As far as the Westerville race goes, what's the number of participants usually like since 22, I guess, when you guys ramp back up again?
So I think we're at 487 um, last year. I would love to get to 650 or so. It's not for me, it's not about raising money for the foundation. It's about the education awareness and how it started with Stephen. And we're one of a few races that actually gets to run through an active firehouse.
Oh,
The
wow.
city of Westerville has graciously allowed us to um, run through Station 111 on Main Street and through First Responders Park, which is right next door. Um, that also has a, piece of the World Trade Center displayed there as well. Tom Ullum, retired Westerville firefighter now, was one that coordinated those efforts, and he's got a great story for that. I'm not going to discredit, try to say tell the story from his perspective, but having that piece there and then having the running through Station 111, the bays, they have the fire trucks out. Last year we had bagpipes playing as they came through, and it was super cool. Very emotional, trying to bring that connection, that back to New York, kind of what we saw as participants
Mhm.
to Westerville. And there were several people that had family members or friends who um, died in the towers, that they came and were very emotional that they got to come and see this and see a part of it. And there was a lady that the piece of steel that's in Westerville was very close to where her family member's office
Oh,
was. So
wow.
it was getting to take her to see that. She had no idea it was even there until she saw about this run.
I'll definitely I run, so I'll definitely be signing up here as soon as we get off this interview here for sure. Because it seems like it's
So,
just a
yeah,
great
we
cause.
encourage to kind of follow up with what Greg just said. We we want to have the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in as many communities as we can, and this is the best way to do that. People come out to these events. Many of them aren't really sure unless they've run one before of
Hmm.
what their if it's their first time. It is so rewarding to talk to them at the finish line and ask them how it was.
Yeah.
Most of them are speechless because the whole all the emotions kick in, and a lot of them are hardcore runners, like
Hmm.
marathon runners that run through the tunnel in New York. Will tell you afterwards, that's the hardest run I've ever done.
Yeah.
So,
How many events are in Ohio this year?
well, we added a fourth one, so we have four in Ohio. I'm
Okay.
proud to say that.
Where are they located?
Nelsonville's our first run in April.
Okay.
Westerville is in May after that. And then we have then in the summer, we have our new run in Lyndhurst, which is east of Cleveland.
Hmm.
And then Medina closes out the year in September.
Okay.
So, Medina, this will be our 13th year. And we're pushing 1,200 participants
Wow.
now. So
That's good.
we've gotten to watch that grow from a couple hundred in year one.
Hmm.
So all of these events grow every year.
Uh,
It's nice to see that there's that support out there.
so as far as your role is the climb series as well, is that what does that entail?
Yes. Glad you mentioned that because many of our uh, cities around the country do climbs, whether it be in a stair climb in a building or a stadium climb in a large stadium. That is to follow up on the signature climb in New York City that happens at the beginning of June, where they climb to the top of One World Trade Center,
Oh
the
wow.
Freedom Tower.
Okay.
So that is a separate event. It literally sells out within an hour after it opens up because we limit how many people can do that. And the same people come back year after year to do that climb. So to follow up on that, we do climbs around the country. We have more 5Ks than climbs, but we're starting to see the climbs become more popular as well.
I saw there's also you guys do out golf outings as well.
We have a golf division, so to speak,
Okay.
that Tunnel of Towers Golf that does golf events. That also is growing every year. We have two celebrity golf outings
Okay.
for the people that want to come in and donate a lot of money
Yeah,
to us
there you
and,
go.
and play some golf. We're happy to see that continue to evolve. So it's a very we have a lot of what we call third party events. People that'll put on a barbecue or Jeeps are becoming real popular. We have a big Jeep event
Oh,
now in Ohio
okay.
that's done by a third party, and they raise obviously all the money they raise is for Tunnel of Towers as well.
So, do you have an idea of how much you've raised in total since its inception?
In Ohio, we've raised over $14 million
Wow.
based on our last financials.
Okay.
Uh, but we're probably looking at $1 billion raised since the beginning of the foundation
That,
in various capacities.
that's
So
incredible. How many states have events?
we have that was a tough one because we're growing all the time. We're not in all 50 states, so go look at our map if you're in one of those states and want to help us out. We'd love to help you put on an event there. We're probably in 40 out of the 50 states,
Okay.
which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh, if you go to t2trun.org, you'll see the map pop up there of all the as new events open or registration opens, they'll pop up on that map. So as we get further into the year, it's interesting to look at that. To see where the events are.
Probably that the trip around the country will help awareness too with the part of the trade center, the
Yes,
mobile. So that I think that'll
v-
increase awareness for sure.
very much so.
Okay. So as far as uh, your role, what all like? Because eventually, I'm thinking about maybe like everyone probably wants to put on a race or something like that. What's all involved in being a director? Like,
So I had planned events in my full-time job role, but I've never planned a run and all of the logistics. So it's, getting volunteers to to be along the course as course directors, getting donations or purchasing refreshments. We've had a lot of really good sponsors, City Barbecue in Westerville. I didn't think that City Barbecue would be a popular post race brunch item, but it was very popular, and they've supported us every year and are going to support us again this year coming up. Um, so just coordinating all of the good that comes towards you. Mark makes my job easy with some of the connections with the vendors, such as the timing company. And yes, this is a run, and there are people that run it and compete. But like Mark said earlier, the people that just come and walk or just to be a part of it, reflecting on whatever their memories are of their first responder, their person in the military, or of 9/11. Um, you can see the reflection there, and it's almost like a sense of relief that they did something for somebody that they knew, or is currently serving or is currently deployed. Just a way to support the organization that is almost like an insurance policy that you don't have to pay for, and hopefully we never have to use it.
Right.
But knowing that organization like Tunnel to Towers is out there is comforting to many.
It seems like it's great. It's gaining traction all the time because now you're hearing more and more about it. Like you'll have celebrity endorsements and stuff like that. Like you'll see a commercial or whatever with a celebrity talking about tunnels and towers and stuff like that. And do you guys do very much with the New York City Marathon?
We actually have a team that's embedded in the marathon, so to speak, Tunnel to Towers team, and we're actually in several marathons around the world. So the way that works, if you're not a marathon runner, you can come in under our name if you raise a certain dollar amount for us.
Okay.
Basically, we'll get you into the New York Marathon if you say I'm going to raise the money that's required
What's
as part
do
of
you
it.
have an idea what the
I
number
don't
is?
know those numbers. Actually, that's a different part of our staff.
Gotcha.
It's the endurance series. If you look at our website,
Okay.
it'll list the half marathons and marathons that we work with. I know that Chicago, I think, is 3,000, but I think New York is a higher dollar amount.
I have a buddy of mine that runs marathons, and he says that New York is very difficult to get into.
Yes,
So that may be a way
that
to do.
that's been the success. I think that's probably our biggest group of marathoners are at that run. But that's the key to our success because the people that really want to get in and but I'm not sure if they still do it as a lottery. You just have to sign up and hope they draw your number.
Right.
Uh, they sign up under us, they're kind of guaranteed a slot.
Okay.
So
Okay. So as far as the leadership group goes, how like you started out, you said employee number one. Do you have an idea how many employees you have now? Not volunteers, but employees.
yeah, it's over 400. I can say that.
Okay.
So and many of those were hired in the last couple of years to work with our veterans, homeless veteran program. So that's been the biggest part of our growth.
Mhm.
So
What would you say your biggest event is as far as raising funds or just attendance? I guess probably the main race
our
would be the
signature run is the New York City
right.
5K.
Okay.
And then as far as fundraising, I mean, we do a big gala every year in New York City for our bigger sponsors that come, big donors that come to that to, to thank them and honor them every year. Like I said, it's a way to say thank you to our donors around the country
That's in
and
New
our
York.
sponsors to New York City,
Okay. Okay.
usually in December around the holidays. I did want to mention, people may have seen the commercials, the $11 a month program, which was sort of a phenomenal idea when we started it. For $11 a month, you just give us your credit card information, and our thought was people aren't going to really miss $11 a
Sure.
month. Like they said when it started, get Starbucks
Yeah, right. Yep.
one day, and you could give the $11 to us, and it is continuing to grow. And honestly, that's the future of the foundation because that's guaranteed steady income without doing fundraisers.
Mhm.
So that's a dollar amount that we see coming in every month.
And how do you get involved with that?
You can just go to the t2t.org and sign up. You can
Okay.
make a one-time donation or you can do monthly, and it can be any amount. We use the 11 because it was sort of a marketing thing.
Okay.
Because 9/11,
Sure.
$11 isn't a lot of money.
Right.
It's interesting to see other people coming up with different dollar amounts to try to do the same thing. But we're really proud to have been doing that for a number of years now and see the growth of that.
So t2t.org that's where you go and all the stuff that we're talking about is going to be on there and you'll
You
be
could
able to.
find out everything that we've talked about here and then some. It's very and it's very up to date information too. So it's t the number two t.org.
Okay.
We're
And
pretty easy to find.
and that'll be like the race schedule and all that stuff will be on there as well. So if anybody wanted to get involved, you could find that on
Yeah,
there.
all of our runs, and I will mention of the 80 some runs around the country and climbs, those only appear on there as registration opens. So we tell people to, if you're looking for something in September or October, it may not be posted yet.
Registration is open for Westerville, and
Yes,
I would love to challenge Central Ohio law enforcement and fire. Let's make it a friendly competition. Let's see which agency can have either the most participants or raise the most money. I have to give it up to the Westerville Fire Union. Um, I went asked the local IAFF to support the race that was running through their fire station, and their first question is how much money the cops give,
Haha.
and their donation was $1 more because they weren't going to lose.
Right.
So,
Nice.
you know, that's the only competition that I'm looking forward to. Not the race competition as far as who can do the run the fastest, but whoever can bring the most awareness to the Tunnel to Tower Foundation and the good that they are doing throughout the entire United States, even right here in Westerville.
Do you? I was just thinking about the brochure for your race. There's a picture of a fireman running in full gear. Do you have a lot of guys that do the races that way?
I was just going to mention that for people that aren't familiar with what our runs look like and haven't seen any of the pictures, um, many, not all of them, but many of the firefighters will wear their gear, and that's in honor of not only Stephen Siller, but all the firefighters that responded on 9/11.
I saw one thing is called a 343. What's the significance of that?
The 343 was the number of FDNY firefighters that died on
Ah,
9/11, which
gotcha.
is kind of a built into the history books. So we use that in a lot of there's different runs that'll give a 343 cup. There's a 343 helmet that's given away to big fundraising uh, donors, things like that,
Okay.
in honor of the 343. But I do need to point out though, since in the last 25 years, there's been more than that, more firefighters than that have been lost due to
Hmm.
cancer and 9/11 related
Oh,
illnesses, which
gotcha.
that's another group of people that we support at the foundation because we consider that a line of duty death, even
Huh.
though many of those heroes have come to help us as a foundation over the years
Right.
with our exhibit and stuff have developed illnesses and we've lost them over the years as well. So it's very important people remember that.
Right. And that concludes our podcast. Thank you for joining. Tune in next time when I bring you another great foundation with a great cause. And remember, show your good side out there, everybody.